You're listening to the Witless Protection Program.
There's a thundercloud behind those eyes. A storm's a-brewing in your mind thoughts. A static electrical discharge will emanate from your swollen heart. Well, the doctor prescribes rubber soles.
Teach a robot how to dance. You can't teach a pair of shorts how to pants. Stand between two mirrors and look into the distance. You'll see you times infinite, still you're only human. It's a suit and tie affair and you're only wearing shoes. Although they're pretty slick, no one will let you through. Well, it doesn't matter those fancy shoes. It's all about the words you choose. Fancy shoes. It's all about the friends you lose. It doesn't matter those fancy shoes. So why would you?
I can see where there may be some confusion. I was once just like you. Let me tell you a story to clarify the matter. Once upon a time a mouse put on some shoes.
Hey friend, where'd you get those fancy shoes? Are you wearing them or are they wearing you? I've seen you walking down the boulevard. You must have come pretty far, you make it look real hard. Those shoes sparkle gold and blue, always seem brand new. Must have set you back a few. Oh, my fancy shoes distract me. I'm in the path of a bus in the middle of a busy street. You can fix a robot, buff out the dance, strap them into a pair of fancy shoes and flip the switch to commence. But when all's said and done, are the shoes built for fun? Or to protect from broken glass or tow biters in tall grass? Oh, when everyone's in red, you wear blue. Oh, it's just like you to ignore simple truths. Well, it doesn't matter those fancy shoes. It's all about the words you choose. Doesn't matter those fancy shoes. It's all about the toes you lose. It doesn't matter those fancy shoes. So why would you?
Here on the Witless Protection Program, we like to bring you some classics to enjoy. Unfortunately, a certain media company has prevented us from playing Ain't No Sunshine. So, instead, let's take an opportunity to thank one of our sponsors. Sony Music Entertainment's executives can... Man, what a weird advertisement. Let's get back to the music.
was never felt that safe in her own head. We both hate the news, that for the grace of God goes you. Smiling when I ask if she's bored yet. We wonder if we took it too far. Both taste confused. Darling, what am I to do? I like to think that I'm the only guy she'll see tonight. You can call me what you like, as long as you cool me. And you could kiss the skin from my lips if it makes you feel good. I'm not sure if you want it, not sure if you need me to. And you can taste the bitter on every guy who talks to you, but you can't stay awake forever. No, you can't stay awake forever. So I find myself in your mum's bedroom, fighting with the pink roller blinds. It's on pay-per-view. Just place your bets on who's lost their minds. You take a pirouette under duvet set. Decide with perfect pitch and with time. I'm not made for you, but what else is new? Although she tells me that it's nothing, oh really, you're just nothing. You could kiss the skin from my lips if it makes you feel good. I'm not sure if you want it, I'm not sure if you need me to. You can taste the bitter on every guy who talks to you, but you can't stay awake forever. No, you can't stay awake forever. This just in, I am a total fucking dumbass. I've come to an uncomfortable conclusion that I'm spending the rest of my life in a state of constant paranoia. Just let me follow you, and I'll proceed to bang my head on every doorway and door frame you see suitable for us to go through. And I've found that the road to happiness is paved with rows and rows of very tempting parking spaces. I'm not paranoid, I'm a realist. I know you're gonna kill me. You could kiss the skin from my lips if it makes you feel good. I'm not sure if you want it, not sure if you need me to. And you could taste the bitter on every guy who talks to you, but you can't stay awake forever. No, you can't stay awake forever. And you could kiss the skin from my lips if it makes you feel good. I'm not sure if you want it, I'm not sure if you need me to. And you could taste the bitter on every guy who talks to you, but you can't stay awake, you can't stay awake, you can't stay awake forever.
There's lots of pretty people here sharing sotries and passing letters in. There's lots of questions answered and metaphysical, astronomical songs, words printed all on papers that seem too mystical. It's so magical. People that dance and compute that no one's better than you. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la. There's kings in distant cities who rule their persons and make them happy, and we won't forget about the servitory, congratulatory. Even the animals know that something's brewing and they're all cooing, 'cause in the end I'd like to say no one's better than you. I hope you're happy now I've revealed the truth. I've even written this whole song about you, and not about me, and not about me. Please don't just laugh and clap right now, this is serious, I'm not
I guess I have to face that in this awful place I shouldn't show a trace of doubt. But pulled against the grain, I feel a little pain that I would rather do without. I'd rather be free, free, free. I'd rather be free, free, free. Free, free.
know it's true, 'cause every day I see your face and love you more than the day before. I've seen you do impossible things, like mend a heart that no one could fix. I see your wings and love you more than the day before. I wouldn't believe it if I couldn't see it. I thought that love would stay a mystery, but here you are, right in front of me. Sometimes I'm scared that something will change, that I'll wake up, my heart rearranged. But every day I love you more than I did the day before. I wouldn't believe it if I couldn't see it. I thought that love would stay a mystery, yet here you are, right in front of me. You were there when I couldn't sleep, but now I dream and all that I see is you and me.
We've got the interview up next, but first, you know him, you love him, it's Paramore.
In a single year, I've aged 100. My social life, a chiropractic appointment. Sit still long enough to listen to yourself, or maybe just long enough for you to atrophy to hell. I'm off caffeine on doctor's orders. Said it was gonna help to level out my hormones. Lucky for me, I run on spite and sweet revenge. It's my dependence on the friction that really hinders my progression. I know that regression is rarely rewarded. I still need a certain degree of disorder. I know that regression is rarely rewarded. I still need a certain degree of disorder. I hate to admit getting better is boring, but the high cost of chaos, who can afford it? C'est comme ça, c'est comme ça. Na 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 na. C'est comme ça, c'est comme ça. Na 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 na. C'est comme ça, c'est comme ça. Na 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 na. C'est comme ça, c'est comme ça. Na 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 na. C'est comme ça, c'est comme ça. Na 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 na. C'est comme ça, c'est comme ça. Na 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 na. C'est comme ça, c'est comme ça. Na 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 na. C'est comme ça, c'est comme ça. Na 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 na.
The following interview was conducted by our one and only John Doe, the only man I've ever seen. That's right, he blinded me shortly after birth. Hello everyone, welcome to the interview portion of the Witless Protection Program. Today we have a very special guest joining us, none other than Clayton Tolley, as he has chosen to be called. He is a fascinating individual with a passion for unraveling the mysteries of computer science while juggling an array of peculiar interests. Clayton is a student at a certain university, and let's dive into a couple interesting facts about him before we start talking. Despite his proficiency in computer science, Clayton harbors a deep fascination with ancient Roman cuisine, often experimenting with obscure recipes dating back centuries. In his spare time, Clayton moonlights as a connoisseur of vintage typewriters, boasting an impressive collection of models spanning from the early 1900s to the modern era. He's also an avid stargazer and can be found traversing the countryside with his trusty telescope in tow, searching for undiscovered celestial phenomenon while composing haikus inspired by the cosmos. Clayton, thank you so much for taking the time to be on this podcast.
Thanks for having me, John.
So, we're going to talk about a plethora of topics, I'm sure. But I wanted to start off with, what I think really encompasses a main part of your belief. And we're going to talk about Bigfoot. So what initially led you to believe that Bigfoot is real?
Well, I always saw it on, like, the icon of Bigfoot on different places. You drive here, past cars in different neighborhoods, and they all have this icon. And so it's kind of fascinating me. I find the Bigfoot icon very cool looking. And so I'd start watching documentaries. I start going out in the woods, and I slowly realized that it definitely, something is out there. Something that's it's mysterious, and it's something that I love to see, even when stargazing and whatnot. And so it just encompasses that whole idea of mystery and fascination and fear, really.
So when you say icon, are you just referring to you saw a drawing of Bigfoot and that piqued your interest? Is it more the emotional grip it had on you, or is it a visual, like you saw something that was interesting to you?
I think it started out definitely seeing something that was interesting, but it definitely moved more toward the thrill of trying to find something out there.
Okay. Can you describe any sort of personal experiences or encounters that have solidified your belief in Bigfoot?
Yeah, so I believe I actually had an experience with said Bigfoot. It was in the Talladega Forest down there in Alabama. I was down there stargazing. It was a forest, and during the day I was fishing on a dock, and there was a berm behind me. And while I was fishing there, a big wad of mud just got thrown across me and my family that was with me, and it went all across the lake, and it was from behind us where the berm was. So we went over and tried to see what was there, and nothing was there. Something would have had to pick up this mud and chuck it at us with something with hands. And so that experience kind of solidified this idea of we were just out in the woods and it's unexplained. There's no way a creature could have done that much mud.
What would you say the size of the mud was? Are we talking a baseball size, a dump truck load? What are we referring to here?
It was enough that it was definitely not one mud clump. It kind of fanned a whole area. It was enough that it made a whole table size of splattering across the water. It was a lot of droplets that hit and a lot of splashes. Okay. So definitely a table size if you were to put a big slab of mud on a table.
Interesting. So it's more of a array of mud rather than a singular projectile.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Something with probably two hands picked up mud and just threw it as a wave, essentially, of mud across my family and I as we were fishing.
Okay. So, you obviously had a very profound personal experience. How do you respond to skeptics who argue that there's just insufficient evidence to support the existence of Bigfoot in spite of, personal experiences like yours?
Yeah. So really, that is the biggest question, obviously. People ridicule me for having this belief because there's we don't have any DNA, right? And that's the biggest thing is DNA. And I think that's simply not true through the different research that I've come across from what seems to be credible sources. And for instance, there's this cabin up in Canada or Alaska, and it would get ransacked during the winter, which didn't make sense because the grizzly bears that would typically ransack such a cabin were hibernating, right? And so they'd always go back. They'd leave during the winter because it snowed in and you're stuck. So they'd fly in during the summer, and it's always just everything's in disarray. Cabinets are on the floor. Everything's broken. And so they put down a trap, essentially a board with a bunch of nails sticking up. So whatever it was, when it came through the front door, it would step on the nails and you'd get blood. And in fact, something did step on the boards, and it was what looked like a foot. It was just a big blob of dried blood, but bigger than any kind of bear. And they looked at the DNA samples, and it's not definite DNA because it was in screws and it was metal, so they didn't get a good enough DNA sample. But it definitely wasn't anything that was like a grizzly bear, and they said it was closely related to, say, a ape kind of blood sample. So I definitely think there's DNA out there. There's research, but it's just not definite enough.
Okay. So, you mentioned how it was the pool of blood or dried blood was larger than any animal expected or anticipated. I'm sure it's possible that some animal stepped on it and struggled to get themselves free for a time, and as a result that can explain the exceptional amount of blood that was present. Would you agree that that's a reasonable way of explaining away that, or do you think that's just a position taken by people that just don't want to believe?
I think it could definitely be a possibility. See, like in all these things, I'm not definitely saying that indeed could have been a Bigfoot. I believe it was, but with all these things, it's hard to be 100% sure. So it is possible, but we have that report and so many sightings. So it's definitely something to consider. It's not like this is definite proof.
So we've been talking about sightings and we've been talking about personal experiences, but I want to take it back to the beginning of Bigfoot. What exactly do you think Bigfoot's origins are, and how do you believe that it's managed to remain elusive to scientific discovery?
I think there's many misconceptions out there. I think I'd first like to address those. Obviously, they're theories. But some people would say, if indeed evolution is possible, that they're just almost like how they say humans evolved from apes. It's almost like another subspecies of this evolution. I think that doesn't seem to make sense, as it wouldn't make sense why it would be separated from humanity. And it obviously there's attributes that keep it animalistic. But I think what it is it's just another creature. It's another animal that is out there, because we see that it doesn't wear clothes. It doesn't have human aspects, even though it doesn't appear to be humanoid. But it's definitely elusive, and it hasn't been shown because I think it's a lot smarter than we realize. I've heard of different people who are quote-unquote Bigfoot hunters, and they've talked about how Bigfoot has scouts that they essentially send out, and they might live on this one mountain, and then at the foot of the mountain they have a scout that goes, and when they see people coming, they go up and report it to the rest of the colony of Bigfoots, and then they escape out the back of the mountain. So they're very elusive. They're a lot smarter than we realize. I don't think they're as smart as humans, but they are indeed smart.
So focusing on the strategy of the Bigfoot and the cunning nature that appears to be prevalent for such a
creature, this large, to remain elusive, especially with all the current eyes we have on it.
Right.
Would you say that it is likely or possible for humans to be in cahoots with Bigfoot in some instances? Say, some people on the Appalachian Trail who are secluded from society, and as a result they happen to know Bigfoot, and Bigfoot trusts them and uses them as scouts. Do you think that's applicable, or do you think people who suggest that are really just barking up the wrong tree?
I think that might be a possibility. I think I would disagree with the fact that Bigfoot is the one who instigated this cooperation, right? I think it would be Bigfoot activists who want Bigfoot to remain a secret because they want humans to not be involved, right? I think that could be a possibility of humans taking the initiative and keeping Bigfoot secret. So in that way, there could be cooperation.
Do you believe there's any specific regions or habitats where Bigfoot is more likely to be found? And if so, why?
It's definitely in places that are not well inhabited. So I don't think it's actually any specific regions of the country, because we see, say, the Yeti. I think the Yeti is a type of Bigfoot, and that's not seen in forests always. It's kind of seen in snowy areas. But it's definitely places where humans are not. So they see a lot in the Midwest where there's more forest and more places for them to hide. Up in Canada, or even in my experience was in the Talladega Forest in Alabama. There are people who definitely live there, but it's more remote, and so that's where they choose to reside.
So I wasn't originally going to go in this direction, but since you brought up Yetis and that variation of Bigfoot, do you believe that Bigfoot on Bigfoot racism is a problem currently, and something that we need to address and look into?
I'm not actually aware in my research of Bigfoot on Bigfoot racism, but I can see that being there. I don't know if Bigfoot has a lot of correspondence with Yeti, or I heard of this new one, these sightings of Bigfoot in even Australia, right? It's definitely there. It's something that we should be thinking about in the future, because it definitely could be possible, but it's definitely not something I've come across in my research yet.
So would you say that because there's not a lot of correspondence, that sort of the race relations in Bigfoot have already broken down?
What do you mean by broken down?
So, like, obviously if there's not a lot of correspondence between groups of people, right, if there is a significant issue of racism prevalent, they're not going to be talking, right? And so communications and cohabitation and discussions between the two races, right, might have broken down in a way, is what I'm referring to.
I don't see any evidence that they've already had essentially their arguments, but because they haven't corresponded, and because there's ones on, say, Australia, so the island versus the continental Bigfoot, race relations, and once they meet, it could be a really big issue. Of since they are so different, there could be that clash. And so I think as humans, we could be a third party to try and protect against that racism.
So would you argue that any such divisions in communication or lack thereof between Bigfoot, Yeti, and other variations are caused likely due to geographical difference and natural evolution of being in different climates, and that's where the differences have come up?
Absolutely. I think it's possible that Bigfoot could have, and all these different variations, swamp creature and whatnot, could have all been essentially a Sasquatch, Bigfoot, and then because they were put in a snowy climate, they microevolution changed them white. And so they could have been the same thing, and now we're seeing them different. And so we haven't seen that being brought back together, essentially.
And so would you say that the discovery of Bigfoot is important because it would allow us to compare and contrast the different Bigfoot variants, so to speak, and be able to see, gain a little bit more insight into how microevolution may have occurred in such a species?
I don't know if I've heard anyone ask that question, but that is definitely something that is great to think about. I think it's some way that we can indeed benefit from the discovery of Bigfoot.
So how do you view the scientific community's general dismissal of Bigfoot as a legitimate subject of study?
I think it's actually quite scary, because as scientists and as researchers, they're supposed to ask questions and hypothesize about things that we don't know a lot about, and then from there, through the scientific method, discover more and research more. And so their dismissal of something like Bigfoot, the Yeti, or the stink ape, is all just very quick to say it's ridiculous. when they thought that the world being a globe was ridiculous.
Why do you think they're so quick to make that decision? Because, when we talk about different other studies and, other things like, the world being a globe or the sun revolving around the earth, right? Galileo participated in a numerous amount of scientific advancements and did his research and presented it, and it was rejected by, I believe it was the Catholic Church at the time.
Right.
How would you say that's similar or different to the rejection of modern science to Bigfoot?
I honestly don't know, but I do have obviously theories. Part of it is funding, right? They have to research this thing that they don't really have any money going toward, which might be part of, I don't want to sound like conspiracy theory here, but part of maybe the government not wanting them to research these things, right? We don't have government grants going to the research of Bigfoot. And so part of it might be funding. It's obviously also unknown, and there's some fear aspect to this. You have a creature who's twice our size, 3 times our size, and we have to go out and try and rile it up, try and find it, try and get DNA samples, which obviously will take blood and hair. And so it's definitely something that's not easy, and there's not a government or a big organization behind it.
So it's interesting that you bring up the government, because I don't know if you've been made aware of this, but there's been some reports that have come out in a recent classified documents, not leak, but they released them, right, for public access. And the report, it's heavily redacted, but it seems to indicate that the government has, hypothetically, right, captured a multitude of Bigfoots and imprisoned them because they are actually a more efficient producer of Red 40, a common ingredient in sodas and food, and they needed to secure their supply of Bigfoots in order to fund that Big 40. If you were to agree with that theory, would you say that it's likely that the rare Bigfoot sightings are due to the government having already gotten most of the Bigfoots under wraps?
I think that might be a possibility. I don't know whether that's the reason why they're capturing Bigfoot, because obviously government facilities are in very remote locations, so they would be close to where these Bigfoot sightings would be happening. I think it is a possibility. I don't think it's the first time that the government has captured other beings, and obviously this is not something about Area 51 or aliens. That's probably a talk for another time. So it's definitely a possibility, because I think they've captured creatures, humanoids, before, for whatever purpose. So it's definitely something that, is limiting our research, because they might have gotten to it before us.
And so, just continuing on that matter, do you think there's any weight to the claim and belief that Bigfoot is the primary producer of Red 40?
I mean, I'm not huge on the research of, say, a substance like that. It'd definitely they'd be a big donor of it, because they are quite large, and so it is a possibility. But part of my brain is yelling at me saying, no, we're not consuming Bigfoot. But obviously, as I said before, being scared cannot stop our research in science.
Okay. And is this going to change your spending habits, specifically when purchasing Hawaiian Punch at the supermarket in later dates?
Well, I really wasn't one to spend a lot on soda anyways, and things like that, and so it could have been my subconscious warning me about random things. But I'll definitely think about it. I'll obviously have to look at the piece of evidence and the things that were released to make sure those are something I can get behind. But yeah.
Well, before we go, just got one more question I wanted to touch on. We've talked about your opinions on Bigfoot. We've talked about possibilities that the government might be involved. So I think what most of the listeners here want to know is, when is a resolution going to occur? And specifically, what a resolution would look like, right? What would constitute irrefutable evidence of Bigfoot's existence? And do you believe such evidence will ever be found.
I really think it is the DNA samples. Those are the biggest step in discovery of Bigfoot, and not just Bigfoot, but also if we find DNA of Yeti and stink ape, and then I forget its name, but the Bigfoot that's in Australia. Finding DNA samples and showing them to the world is really hard for our day and age of scientists to refute. If you have a big piece of evidence saying that there's something out there and there are apes in the North American frontier, it's hard to stop that. And I think the repercussions of that are yet to be seen. But that is, I think, the thing that's going to start the dice roll.
All right, well, thank you so much, Clayton, for coming on this program. Thank you for giving up your time. And to our listeners out there, we appreciate you listening wherever you are. Whatever Bigfoot encounters you've had, you're more than welcome to reach out to our email, which is going to be provided shortly. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, John.
We now return to the music. Kinda. Depends on who you ask.
Here's the thing, I can't do anything right. Try as I absolutely, totally might. The bones are melting, the skeleton is ash. The clavicle detaches and falls with a deafening crash. And I'm not your protagonist, I'm not even my own. I don't know anything, I don't even know what I don't know. And if you look outside, you'll see disintegrating trees. The artificial way the sunlight bounces off the waxy leaves. My heart catches on every thorn. You're already halfway out the door. And I've never looked so old
Georgia peach, sorta feisty, kinda shy. No, she's not some Euro trip, she's my American pie. She's homegrown, good old girl, loves drinking a glass of wine, never misses on a sip. She's my American pie. You gotta meet my Caroline, from the middle of the country, on my mind. She don't care about the money, wants a ride, but it might get a little muddy, muddy. You gotta meet my Sally Mae, that I met back in college. Saturdays when I kept losing wallets, glad she stayed, but if I'm being honest, I think she's way too good for me, and I don't know if she knows she's out of my league. Yeah, I don't know. She's my sweet Georgia peach, sorta feisty, kinda shy. No, she's not some Euro trip, she's my American pie. She's homegrown, good old girl, loves drinking a glass of wine, never misses on a sip. She's my American pie. She's not afraid to yell at me when I lie, or admit to me when she's wrong. Doesn't need a favorite color or a theme song. She's my independent lady, knew her since we dated. I would need to pick up my slack, man, there's no debating. We leave a party for a Waffle House of East Coast. She wanna spend the day outside of this nose. Doesn't need Bitcoin, but your crypto. Send a mean dudes from my fifth phone. I think she's way too good for me, and I don't know if she knows she's out of my league. Yeah, I don't know. She's my sweet Georgia peach, sorta feisty, kinda shy. No, she's not some Euro trip, she's my American pie. She's homegrown, good old girl, loves drinking a glass of wine, never misses on a sip. She's my American pie.
Man, over here on the Witless Protection Program, we're keeping the good vibes going. If by good vibes, you mean EDM with Ukrainian singing.
М'язи схаменули, щоб одразу і несли мене подалі, мов невидимі педалі.
Ніч у ніч, вночі, щоночі, не заплющувати очі, не спинятись, не стояти, не спинятись, не стояти, бути і літати, бути і літати, бути і літати, крові, 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 бути і літати, щоб текла крижила, бути і літати, щоб творила жити, бути і літати.
It's there.
only a few songs left. Thank you for making us part of your Monday morning. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, send us an email at thewitlessprotprog@gmail.com. That's thewitlessprotprog@gmail.com.
Calmly feel myself evolving, appalling, so much I'm not divulging. Been stalling, I think I hear applauding. They're calling, mixtapes aren't my thing, but it's been awfully exhausting. Hanging on to songs as long as daunting, which caused me to have to make a call I thought was ballsy, resulting in what you see today. Proceed indulging, as always, the one-trick pony's here, so quit your sulking. Born efficient, got ambition, sort of vicious, yep, that's me. Not artistic, unrealistic, chauvinistic, not those things. Go the distance, so prolific, postal cryptic, move swiftly, unsubmissive, the king of mischief, the golden ticket, rare sight to see. I stay committed, embrace the rigid, I'm playful with it, yeah, basically. Too great to mimic, you hate your bitter, no favoritism, that's fine with me. Create the riddles, portrayed uncivil, unsafe a little, oh yes indeed, it's plain and simple, I'm far from brittle, unbreakable, you following? I'm Bruce Willis in a train wreck, I'm like trading in your car for a new jack. I'm like having a boss getting upset, cause you asked him for less on your paycheck. I'm like doing headstands with a broke neck. I'm like watching your kid take his first steps. I'm like saying Bill Gates couldn't pay rent cause it's too broke. Where am I going with this? Unbelievable, yes, yes, inconceivable. See myself as fairly reasonable, but at times I can be stubborn, so if I have to, I will rock the boat. I don't tend to take the easy road, that's just not the way I like to roll. What you think's probably unfeasible, I've done already 100-fold. 100-fold, it's probable that I might press the envelope. Ideas so astronomical, sometimes I find them comical. Yeah, incomparable, replay value phenomenal, beat selection remarkable, slowing me down impossible. I don't rock no rollies, I don't hang around no phonies, I don't really got no trophies. I don't know why God chose me. Got something in the cup, ain't codeine. Changed my style, they told me. Now they come around like homie. Man, y'all better back up slowly. Back up slowly? Who are you kidding? How could you doubt me? I've always delivered. Ripping the teeth out of the back of my mouth. The closer you get to my wisdom. See, my initial thought was the way, but what can I say? I had to come visit. Check on you guys. You doing alright? You're yearly socked. Yeah, that's what I figured. They cover their heads up whenever I drop. Shake the whole industry, put them in shock. Come off the clouds like a meteor rock, then land on the earth like ready or not. Ain't no one like me to cream me the crop. Don't even front, but they give me some props. I'll pick up your body and throw it a block. Okay, I admit it, that's over the top. Not near in the headlight looks. Every time I step my foot on the ground, I get mistook for a lame with no weight to his name. Ground just shook, let's not beat around the bush. Even my B-sides throw him off like how's he do it. Some say I'm a great influence, I don't know about that, but I did do the best I could. Hollywood, Hollywood, hope Nate doesn't go Hollywood. You think that you don't know me good? You think that you don't know me good? Hollywood, Hollywood, hope Nate doesn't go Hollywood. You think that you don't know me good? You think that you don't know me? I always advance, say how I fail, you know I stand. Raising the bar, I gotta expand. Top of the charts, I'm setting up camp. Pounding my stakes, I put on my tent. Shoot for the stars, they fall in my hand. Stick to my guns, I don't even flinch. Can push all you want, ain't moving an inch. I rarely miss, you know I'm relentless. Ain't got a choice, no way to prevent it. Just who I am and I don't regret it. See what I want, then I go get it. Follow my gut, I'm happy I did it. Beat all the odds, I ain't got no limits. Can it be stopped? You paying attention? I ain't gotta say it. They know where my head is, they know where my head is.
It makes me feel nervous. You have that look in your eye. Oh, what takes over? What is it that holds you tight? And you can tear it up. Oh, no one tears it up like you. Oh, you can rip it up. Oh, no one rips it up like you. When you're in the half-light, it is not you I see. You live a half life. You only show half to me. Ooh. Sometimes I join you, let you wash over me when we're in the darkness. Only the blind can see, and you can tear it up. Oh, no one tears it up like you. Oh, you can rip it up. Oh, I can rip it up like you when you're in the half-light. Oh, it is not you I see, and you live a half-life. You only show half to me. And can you shake it off? Oh, can you shake it off for me when you're in the half-light? I don't like the half I see. What possesses you? Oh, what possesses you? Oh, what possesses you? Oh, what possesses you? When you're in the half-light, oh, it is not you I see, and you live a half-life. You only show half to me. Can you shake it off? Oh, can you shake it off for me when you're in the half-light? I don't like the half I see, no.
My brother, where do you intend to go tonight? I heard that you missed your connecting flight to the Blue Ridge Mountain over near Tennessee. You're ever welcome with me anytime you like. Let's drive to the countryside, leave behind some green-eyed lookalikes, so no one gets worried, no. So no one gets worried, no. But Sean, don't get careless, I'm sure it'll be fine. I love you, I love you, oh brother of mine. In the quivering forest, even if you don't mind. No.